Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. The SOOP League continues and it's NRG with an absolutely embarrassing result yet again, getting clowned on the timeline today in a similar way to what happened with Billy Gaming not that long ago. What is it about these Asian teams that people don't expect to have serious results that FNS and the boys tend to still struggle with? What's going on with this roster? How's the rest of their tournaments going to go? Are they washed up already after winning the Sin City Classic not that long ago? Very much on Twitter, your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Maybe they need this man to come and save the team again. Ye was talking about Clove. We know that there's some changes to the current meta happening and certainly some of the agents that have been rather strong for some time. People asking Ye though, are you on EG? What's going on? Are we announcing it yet, guys? Like, when is this announcement happening? And Ye says, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going pro in VALORANT Mobile. But yeah, EG are taking their time for some reason. We know that IC is there. They've literally done the videos, I'm pretty sure. Like, the VALORANT League itself, the VCT, has done the preparation for the new season in terms of some of the content around it with the new players. But yet, EG are taking their time on the announcement. This, by the way, are the specifics on the Neon nerf. The Neon nerf is pretty substantial. I don't know if this completely destroys the character. I think it will reduce her pick rate very, very substantially. The Overdrive Ultimate is now down to 10 seconds from 20, and it's going up to 8 instead of 7 points. That's a massive deal, and I don't know if that was entirely necessary. I'm not complaining, really, because it's annoying, but I don't know if it was the most necessary thing. The big deal, of course, is slides going from 2 to 1, but this is another big issue. On paper, this sounds like, wow, it's over for Neon, but actually, your accuracy while crouch walking is pretty strong. It's not full accuracy, but it's pretty strong. So I'm not sure that this is going to completely destroy the efficacy of her slides, but it definitely reduces her effectiveness as a character. So we're seeing her a lot at the SOOP VALORANT League. That will likely change in the relatively near future and other agents will be started to be used again. There was also some questions on what's happening with M80. So, because this was back in the 19th of October, so quite a while ago now. But just because M80 have been teasing getting back into VALORANT, of course they played Ascension, they lost, their team disbanded. They've teased over the last few days, M80, to come back again. The speculation has maybe been, could they become the Sen Academy? Like the Qubit Academy that currently exists with Redux and those guys, they're like the Sen Academy as it stands. Although it's not like official, but it obviously kind of is. They're part of Sentinels on some level at least. Maybe M80 come along and kind of take over management and control of that roster. There's just been a bit of a speculation to this end. If they actually are coming back, that could be a sensible approach just because of what we have seen with some of the other very strong teams. And obviously, if M80 come in, they might decide to change things around or have a look at that Rankers team and see if there's any guys in there they might potentially want to sign to. Twitter your thoughts in the comments. But let's talk about the SOOP VALORANT League because it was underway yesterday. Sentinels got the 2-0 dub against Gen.G, so a great start to the tournament for them. It's obviously early days, but we were expecting maybe a similar result today from the likes of NRG against, on paper, weaker opposition. This was Zelsis during yesterday's tech pause. I will say, SOOP obviously it's not the best. It is also, I only realized today, Africa TV. You guys remember last year they did the Africa TV League or whatever that Sentinels won at the start of the year. They have rebranded to this. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. It's the same platform but rebranded. They have, again, like, no moderation or filters in their chat, which is not ideal in an experience. But to be fair, they don't mess around. Like, they don't mess around with breaks. I know there was a tech pause yesterday, but you play map 1, you crack on with map 2. You play map 2, you crack on with map 3. Like, which I think is pretty good. You get lots of VALORANT getting played right now. But, yeah, Zelsis and the boys, they get the win, and Sen obviously very happy about their results so far. But as we know, in the Americas, not that long ago, NRG came along to the Sen City Classic and they did a pretty spectacular job. Beat Sentinels a couple of times in that tournament and closed out with the victory in the end. They are also at the SOOP VALORANT League. Now yesterday there was another series as well that's worth mentioning, made in Thailand, MITH or whatever, up against Talon Esports. Now Talon Esports is effectively Primi and Inshallah. Like, they have no other strategy. It's just Primi go kill everything, and that's pretty much usually what he does. But it's not always going to be good enough. So this was a disgusting ace that Primi got. This was another clip as well. This is the slow-mo, because we didn't catch all of this from his POV, but just imagine what this looked like in real time. I can actually probably try, can't I? Because I can put it on 2x speed here on Twitter. This is, okay, maybe that's a little bit too fast. Let's do 1.5 or something. This is pretty much what it looked like for Primi in real time. And he comes around the corner and just kills absolutely everyone. Yeah, maybe 2x actually was more accurate, to be fair. Yeah, this guy, incredibly crisp shooting, took down the entire team immediately, but it wasn't enough to win the series. Primi goes 65 in 41, plus 24, with the first kill, first death numbers, but yeah, the rest of his team couldn't deliver what was necessary and made in Thailand get the victory in the end. So Haven went 13-7 to them, they bounced back on the split. Primi went 13 in 10 on the split here, on the raise, such as that moment we mentioned with the 3-piece, and then the ascent. You know, Primi still had a good map, but there was not really any production coming out of the other side, and Laz had a great map here to shut things down. So yeah, congrats to those guys. Looking good in the tournament so far, but this was the series of today. NRG versus OLRF. So Lofi, rapid Lofi basically is what people are referring to them as. And what's going on here again? So Vietnamese team that people aren't that familiar with, and understandably they played Ascension but didn't really, you know, impress that especially. NRG, top tier team in the Americas on paper. They formed this squad. They brought FNS back, of course, into the team last year with Som. Ethan is there as well. They brought in Verno. They brought in Marda. Like, big names for sure. And they played Sentinels and Evil Geniuses and others at the Sin City Classic a little bit ago, and they looked very good. Looked like they're going to be just as competitive as many of the other top teams and potentially could get over the hurdle, because last year NRG were meant to have a super team but they didn't deliver. Now they've got a proper leader back, but for some reason a leader that just massively struggles with any team from Asia in general, China, or of course the Pacific, as we're seeing today. So this was very funny because Sinatra, of course, watch partying this, put the following in his Twitch title: NRG versus nobody. It's like, who even are these guys? The game one, they go down 13-7. And then it's like, well, hang on a second, game two, surely they're going to bounce back, which they do. But then it goes to a Pearl final map of the series. Obviously, historically, not Som's favourite map. And there was just nothing that NRG delivered here at all. They got crushed 10-2 on their defensive side. Lofi were like all over the map, hitting flanks they didn't know they were ready for. The chat, of course, was already putting GG's in the chat. GG stupid NRG to just go Flickmaster, and FNS 1 versus 3 wasn't enough. He goes down. So a truly remarkable result here from this Vietnamese team. And like, Prodigy had some good moments in this series as well, but he was not their standout player. Like, pretty good production across the board, to be honest. Verno had a good series, and FNS was at 43 frags. Like, it's not like FNS was dropping the ball, but Ethan and Som and Marda really all just had terrible series today, and they just got beat up really on the maps that they lost. 13-7 on the Sunset. Yeah, they won the Haven 13-8 in the end. It felt like, okay, they're finally going to win it. But then they just got destroyed on the Pearl, 10-2. NRG put up a bit of a fight at the start of the second half, but that was very quickly extinguished. And yeah, Ethan, 8 frags on the final map. So how is it even possible to really explain this situation? How do NRG and, you know, how do Rapid Lofi go from being as good as they were to as good as they apparently seem to be now? Or is it just something about this NRG team that when they play certain teams from, you know, regions they expect to be beating, I don't know, they just tend to struggle because, well, maybe Chet needs to come back and save them. It's just a strange feature of FNS's kind of playstyle, isn't it? I don't really know what it is, but, and it's not like FNS played badly today, it actually played very well, but for some reason, against Billy, against teams like this, NRG, of all the North American teams, they will be the team that tends to struggle the most in series like this. And, of course, accounts are calling them out, and understandably so, because on paper, NRG should be an absolute top team, and they've got destroyed by a team, you know, that understandably Sinatra and many others have never even heard of. And then Sinatra changes the title to say, you know, how the tables have turned as Kuro, nobody's versus Rapid Lofi at the end of the day. So, yeah, incredible result. This is the way that things currently look then, right? So NRG down to the losers bracket, Gen.G Talon in the elimination game on the other side, and then, can you believe it, Billy Gaming. I mean, could you imagine, like, let's say DRX win this series, which they will be expected to. let's say Dirix win the series, we will get NRG Billy on the elimination bracket. And I mean, yeah, I don't want to call that one too early, but could you imagine the storylines there if that went through? So FNS is like, yeah, lost 0-2 to those guys. GG, well played. Billy Gaming maybe then waiting in the losers bracket. We'll see if that goes anywhere. And yeah, he's like, oh my god, I cannot believe this is actually happening. But very much into your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.